Welcome guys to today's episode of Team Tour Tuesdays. Today's Heroclix event at our local store is a 500 point Meteor Madness event where each round a meteor drops, and if a character is in the square where it hits, different effect is applied. I actually don't know what the effects are as of recording this, but put together a 500 point team that I would totally play at that event if we weren't doing our sealed pool. This is a entirely Bronze Age team. It's 500 points, and it's made up of 4 figures. This team is something that I've had in the bag for years. I brewed this team back when the Yu-Gi-Oh! Series 1 came out. It came out around the same time as the Invincible Iron Man, which is where this Iron Monger is from. These Kuribohs are a fun piece, and when played with this Iron Monger, they become a real nuisance. So if we look at the Iron Monger here, he has this trait that is funny that he's not unique. It says, when a friendly character is KO'd by an opposing attack, you may deal 1 penetrating damage to each opposing character adjacent to that character. So, anytime any of your guys dies in close combat, everybody takes 1. It's a good way to whittle down your opponent's pieces. Gets through damage reducers except for Invincible. It's basically Mystics. If you could give these guys Mystics, that'd be great, but we can't. So he's an older piece, so he doesn't have his stats on the back of the card, so we'll just put that on screen now. Okay. Thank you, post-production Jordan. So he's got 7 clicks of life, starts with a 10 running shot, 11, 17 invulnerability, and a 4 damage with a special damage power, which says, if an opposing character within range and line of fire can use Outwit or Perplex, Iron Monger 2.0 can use that power until your next turn. This power can't be countered. So, he can gain Outwit or Perplex, move up your stats. He's also a decent piece. He's got flying. His next one, he goes to 10 pen Psychic with 3 damage, and he kind of stays that way for a while. Last 2 clicks, he's got poison, so he's dealing his own damage. And if he can outwit, you're going through their defenses, so you're just whittling them away. So he's just a kind of a good piece. The cool part is that his abilities stack. The Rewired for Explosives work with both of them. So I figured we play multiple Kuribohs and less of the Iron Mongers. Iron Mongers are good attackers, and since they're the same piece, it's going to be very hard to deal with both of them. So anytime something dies, deals 2 damage penetrating, which is okay on its own. But we go and look at Kuriboh here, which again is an older piece, so we'll put that up right here. This is the Kuriboh from the main set, not the Kuriboh from Battle of the Millennium. He has a trait, which is when he's KO'd, all adjacent characters deal 2 penetrating damage. They have 5 clicks, plasticity. They have a Blade's Claw's Fangs on their first 3. That says, if they roll a 5, the result becomes 4, and the hit character gets an action token. If they roll a 6, the hit character gets 2 action tokens, and it becomes a 4. So they're little scrappy things. Their first 2 dials have super senses, and then on their last 2, they have Blade's Exploit. So they're kind of just like a scrappy little run-up piece. They're also tiny, so they don't block movement. Iron Monger can carry them in. They're kind of just cool little pieces to run in, but they explode. So they explode for 2, and then each of these Iron Mongers makes it 2 more. So if you run them up and they die, you're taking somebody out a third of their total possible clicks per figure. And we've got 5, so that's 20 clicks of damage that we can deal off. Now, your opponent's going to learn real quick that they need to stay away from the Kuribohs, but if we can keep them on them, then they're going to have a hard time dealing with them. They have plasticity, so it makes it kind of hard to break away from them. They have a 10 attack and a 17 defense, so they're pretty reasonable pieces. So one of the cool things we can do is Kuriboh Chain. So if we position our Kuribohs like this, and let's just say that, for the sake, this is the closest figure to me, this Giant Girl is right here. If Giant Girl kills this Kuriboh, it'll deal the 2 damage because of Iron Mongers to her, and then it'll deal 2 damage for being KO'd to everybody around her. and this could kill this Kuriboh, which would then deal 2 damage to everybody around the Kuriboh. And then if it kills the Kuriboh behind her, deals 2 damage to everybody else. So that's an additional 6 damage that we get. Yes, we're KOing our own pieces, but we're hopefully nuking our opponent's board, and this isn't just one big piece. It's just a kind of cool mechanic that we can get into. Now, the main force is just these 5 Kuriboh and the Iron Monger. It comes up to 295, and then we pay 5 points for the Tesseract. We just had 5 points left over. I only have the Disney Plus items. Tesseract is the best one out of it since everybody flies. They don't need the cape. Phasing teleport, and when they can use it, they can also use probability control. So you can just get some movement in and have a probs. It's really not the best, but it's what I have to fill points. So that's your 500 points. Relinquished and Magician of Black Chaos are 2 really, really fun pieces from the original Yu-Gi-Oh set because they have the ritual mechanic. So the ritual mechanic is different for each pieces. The main piece that we have here is the Magician of Black Chaos. He's going to be an extra attacker. He says if he's on your sideline and at least 90 points of friendly characters have been KO'd, so if 1 Iron Monger goes, he's live. If 2 Kuribohs go, he's live. You can give a friendly character with the Yugi Moto or Dark keyword a free action. When you do, you KO that character and place Magician of Black Chaos on a starting click in a square that character occupied, and you can only ritual once per game. So you can KO Kuriboh, deal 2 damage to everybody, bring in the Magician of Black Chaos. Kuriboh are the only Yu-Gi-Oh pieces on this team. They do have the Yugi Moto and Dark keyword, so they're going to be the ones that do it. Again, old figure, so we'll put that up right now. He's got a 10 movement, running shot, 11 attack, which is special power. His Chaos Scepter Blast, which says that he can use Energy Explosion and Pen Psychic. When it does, you place a Chaos token on the hit character's card if they don't already have one. Whenever a character with a Chaos token makes an attack roll, you may remove the Chaos token and ignore the results and force it to reroll. So you get free props. And it's just when the character makes an attack roll. So he doesn't have to have range, he doesn't have to have the line of sight, he doesn't have to be anywhere near him. He just says, reroll that. So you can save a Kuriboh if you really need to. You can save Iron Monger if you really want to. Which is a very good thing. And then he's got an 18 Invuln, 4 Outwit. And those are his basic same top 3 dials. Mid dial, he goes to just Pen Psychic, Impervious, Probability Control. And then on his bottom dials, he gets Pulse Wave and he gets Perplex. A free 180 point character for only having 90 points is really good. I really like this piece, just to have it bring it in. I don't see a situation where you'd bring in Relinquish first, but this is your main go-to. And then Relinquished is the other option. So Relinquished is same thing, but has the ritual ability of if at least 45 points of your friendly characters have been KO'd, and then you give a friendly character with the Maximilian Pegasus or Dark, the Kuribohs are Dark, the free action to replace them. So you still KO, you can still do the same damage. Relinquish is kind of a stall piece. He's got a trait that says he can use Steal Energy, and when he hits an opposing character, you give that character an absorption token if it doesn't already have one. Characters with an absorption token modify their combat values by -1 if not already modified by this effect. Modify Relinquish's combat values by +1 for every 2 absorption tokens on opposing characters on the map. So he gets stronger the more he hits things. He's a 10 in cap, 16 willpower, 2 shape change, so he's just going to be a little bit hard to hit on his top dial. Doing 2 damage, he's not really a good attacker. His next one, he goes to ECD, so he's going to be a little bit better from range attacks. Just having the option of an in-cap replacement piece is good. I don't see any time you'd ever use him, but these are the pieces that qualify for the ritual, so I included them in this team build. I would just go for the Magician of Black Chaos. But he's also running the really cool sculpts. So I've played this team once or twice, usually only with 1 Iron Monger because we had the Highlander rule in effect back in the day, which is less enforced now, where you can only have one of the person under the mask. Kuribohs are monsters from Yu-Gi-Oh, so we could have as many of them as we wanted. And it becomes really fun and tactical on how you have to position your Kuribohs. They don't have move and attack, so you kind of just throw them up there and then let your opponent deal with them. It's an interesting game plan because you're basically saying hit me or don't. The Iron Mongers just can shoot from range. I mean, they have a 7 range. They're gonna hit their opponents. You can energy explosion with the Magician of Black Chaos and just pop some of your Kuribohs if you really need to nuke your opponent. You are sacrificing your own points, but it's kind of fun just to have that, hey, I have a penalty if you kill me type of mechanic, which I really enjoy. Hopefully I can get somebody to play this at the event today, but we'll see how that goes. I think you guys, if you like the old Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, it's really fun. Also, if you just wanted to play a bronze team that's from back in the day, it's still pretty fun and doesn't require a lot of expensive pieces. This is a pretty fun team just to pick up. Those Iron Mongers were a little difficult for me to get, but I managed to find some and bought a good number of them. But as always, guys, we love all the feedback. If you guys have any tips, anything you want to see, we can try to put it together. We've got a bunch more teams in store for you. Hopefully you stick tuned to next week and see what fun we have in store.